What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you guys can tell from the title, I bought one of the G37s that I ended up swapping an engine to. So for those that are not familiar with this vehicle, I actually ended up replacing the engine and transmission about a year ago, and here it is again. It's time for its third transmission. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. But before I start doing that, I wanted to give you guys a quick walk through of the condition of the vehicle. I paid $1,500 for this car. It's a 2008 Infiniti G37 Coupe. It's a restored salvage title. It does have some wear and tear here and there. It has a broken front core support, no bumper, but I do have one to throw on. Really bad alignment in the front with bad tires. Has some dents here in the back quarter panel, and all the wheels are pretty curb rashed. The interior is pretty messed up as well. Has some tears here and there. The seat belts are locked in place because it was crashed at one point, and the seat belts do not retract. It does have a single exit exhaust, and overall, I mean, it could be a lot worse. This vehicle does run and drive. It is a sport model, so it does have the Akebono calipers. But yeah, the purpose of today's video is pretty simple. My goal is to just get it up and running, fix every little minor thing that it has as far as, electrical things that are hanging off the front right here. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty rough and it's kind of been neglected a little bit. So my goal is to fix it up, get it up and running, replace that transmission, and then I'm gonna eventually sell it because I personally would not keep it for myself. It's a little bit too rough for my liking. But without any further delay, let's get right into today's video. At the time of recording this video, I'm not exactly sure how many videos I've put out of me removing the transmission or doing something with the transmission. So what I'm gonna do is just do a time lapse of me removing this one, and at least we'll skip that for now since I've covered it so many times in my channel. So I have the transmission pretty much unbolted and ready to come out. I just need to lift up the front of the vehicle so that I can actually clear the transmission. So unfortunately, I did have some issues with the installation of this transmission. So now when I turn on the vehicle, I'm leaking out of the torque converter seal, so I had to take the transmission off again and replace the seal. This hasn't happened to me before when I ever install a transmission, so this is something new. So I'm curious to see what went wrong. But yeah, the unfortunate thing is I have to take off this transmission again and see what's going on. So it actually took me about an hour to get this transmission off, but here is the main reason that I had to remove this for the third time. You see that there's a little piece of gasket right there missing on that O-ring. So I'm gonna go to the store and get a new seal so that I can replace that and bolt everything back up, and fingers crossed there is no more leaks. So I did quite a bit of work off camera. Mainly what I ended up sorting out was the transmission leak. So it's not leaking anymore, so everything there is fine and good to go. I next decided to put the bumper on, so I did fasten the bumper back on, and I also ended up fixing some loose connections that were just dangling, and I also fixed the latch on the hood because both sides weren't latching how they were supposed to, so I did fix that as well. And then the next thing that I did was I ended up buying some seat belts for this vehicle. So both seat belts I'm going to replace, and then the last thing that I'll do is put on a grill. And then once I do that, I think I'm going to get two new front tires for it, and then I'm going to post it for sale.
I also decided to change the inner and outer tie rods because I don't know if you guys noticed in the last scene, my tires were getting pretty chewed up. And this is a problem that this vehicle had for the longest, and all I really needed was inner and outer tie rods because they were both bent.
It's kind of hard to see, but I also did take the side pillar off right here, and I was able to unbolt the seat belt assembly here. So as you can see, I can't release the seat belt. I took this apart and I was able to unlock it, but the mechanism is no longer working, so the seat belt won't release. So I ended up getting these black ones that I'm gonna be installing so that at least we can get seat belts back on the vehicle. I was able to get both of the seat belts installed, and everything is working as it should there. I also went ahead and installed this grill that I picked up for only 60 bucks. So I think this is pretty much gonna complete the vehicle. There is other little minor things like this mirror cover right here that's missing. The pillars are not the same color, but they're black and it doesn't look bad. So I am gonna just put tires on it in the front, and then after I do that, I'm gonna give it a good wash and post it up for sale. All right, guys, so we are pretty much done restoring this G37 coupe. As you guys can see, it looks a lot better than when I first got it. We have the bumper back on with the grill. We have the latch on the hood working. Before, it was just kind of propped up and it was just making rattle noises all over the place. We have two tires in the front that are in good shape compared to what we had originally. I got the seat belts installed inside, so that is all taken care of. And most importantly, we got the transmission fixed. So I did remove that transmission, like as you guys saw, and I did fix it by installing another one, and it does run and drive good again. The only issue with this vehicle right now is that I kind of messed up with the size of the tires. So in the back we have 35 as far as the profile goes, and in the front we have 45. So it kind of does throw a slip light from time to time if I'm really gunning it. So the only way we can fix that is pretty much by fixing the size of the tires, which I'm not gonna do. I did clean up the interior a little bit. I am gonna go back and just put a little bit more time in here, make sure everything is clean before I post it for sale. But this is pretty much going to be how the vehicle is going to be sold. It does run and drive. I was able to fix all the check engine light codes that I had, which all it ended up being was a O2 sensor fuse that was blown. So it was constantly throwing the upstream O2 sensor codes. So I did fix that. The car is running and driving perfect. I've always said that this G37, at least this particular one, has a really healthy engine that we installed on it about a year ago, and it's still the case. It pulls really good. It has new spark plugs. So it is a pretty good running engine at the moment. So that's pretty much going to wrap up the end of today's video. I hope you guys did have fun watching the video, and I had fun working on it. It's always nice to fix these vehicles and get them back on the road, and this one is no exception. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.